October the 4th, 1957, while the Americans were still finalizing their plans, Sputnik was launched.
We choose to go to the moon.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But what if that giant leap was also a giant leap for Cold War propaganda?
The space race is celebrated as humanity's race to the stars, but the way we remember it was shaped by the historians who told the story.
Today, we'll explore how one historian in particular influenced the narrative, and how his interpretations, amongst others, still shape how we think about the space exploration.
The space race began in 1957 with the Soviet launch of Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite.
In the following years, milestones followed. The first man in space, Yuri Gagarin, in 1961, and the first human landing on the moon by Apollo 11 in 1969.
While both superpowers contributed to human progress, the narrative of the space race often frames it as a competition with a single winner, the United States.
One of the most influential historians of the space race is Walter A. McDougall, a Pulitzer Prize-winning historian and political scientist.
McDougall, a professional historian, wrote The Heavens and the Earth in 1985, at the height of renewed Cold War tensions.
His interpretation framed NASA's Apollo missions as decisive ideological victory, proof of American superiority over Soviet communism.
This framing made sense at the time. McDougall wrote during the Reagan era, where national pride and color rhetoric were central to the American political culture.
McDougall relied heavily on Western sources, which emphasized the U.S. achievements and downplayed Soviet contributions.
We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country.
Soviet archives were closed to outsiders until the 1990s, which limited access to balanced information.
These limitations, combined with Cold War ideology, contributed to a narrative that portrayed space exploration as a competition with one clear winner.
McDougall's interpretation shaped history textbooks, reinforcing the idea that space exploration was a race that America won.
This encouraged generations to see space not as a shared scientific effort, but as a battleground for national pride.
In doing so, many early Soviet achievements like the first satellite, first man in space, and first spacewalk were treated as mere stepping stones to the US moon landing.
Modern historians like Asif Siddiqui have challenged this view, emphasizing the Soviet Union's key contributions.
Siddiqui argues that framing space history as a race oversimplifies a story of parallel scientific progress.
His research shows how access to new sources can fundamentally change how we understand history.
Today, astronauts from multiple nations work side by side on the International Space Station.
And yet, many still describe space as a competition, just as it was framed during the Cold War.
The space race reminds us that history is not about what happened, but who tells the story and why.